Thanks for joining us today. We live. Everybody, welcome to the Disruptive Chef Club. I have here my co-host today, Mr. Monte Silva. If you guys haven't checked out the restaurant coach, so he is it. How about you, Mr. Monte? How was your weekend?
I'm great. Fantastic. I was excited to get a monkey off my back on Friday.
Talk to us about that monkey.
Well, I was working on my book for a couple years. Shift happens and kind of got stuck and then lost momentum. And then you said, "Hey, when are you going to do this book?" And we are now working together on getting it up and running. So I'm super excited. I actually submitted my manuscript to your editor, and she has that now. And I have a KDP page set up, and things are great. I'm excited to find out what's next.
So it's now, first off, congratulations of getting that done. There is so many people which want to write a book, and I personally believe everybody should have a book. And there's people, especially in our age, and sorry to use it, they all feel like we should have had a book, or they should have a book out there in the marketplace, and they don't know where to start, what to do, and where to go from here. So for me, it's it would be nice to have for anybody to have a book in the marketplace, and you sending the manuscript is the first step in getting the book out in the marketplace.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't be there already if you hadn't pushed me over the edge. So I appreciate that. And
Yeah,
for those that are listening in that haven't heard us before, so Christian has a publishing company as well as a mastermind to help chefs and other restaurateurs write books and get them out to market.
Yeah. So we helping people exactly where you are. They want to have a book on the marketplace. They started the manuscript 15 times. They just never knew where to go from there. And so for me, if people don't know my story, I had the opportunity to write 30 plus books in my career. I have more than half of them I wrote with a company. I broke out on my own and said, hey, I should be able to do it on my own. And having published as many books as we did, and now where we have our company, we have, people publish books with us all the time. And you heard us that success leaves clues. So we followed some of the successful people which gotten books out on the marketplace. And now we developed a step-by-step program for us to help chefs to get their book out there in 8 weeks or less. So you just started. So we in, what is this, week one? Or we still in week one?
Yeah, it's week one. Yeah, I just submitted the manuscript on Friday.
Yeah. So week one, what our team does, they looking through all of your information. We have a little system we apply and lay over your manuscript, which kind of gives us spelling mistakes. We don't do any editing, so that needs to be done by you, because sometimes people want to say things a certain way, and so we allow our clients to do it themselves. But we just overlay, is there multiple use of a word? We sometimes switch it. It's just some basic grammatic errors, and those is what we do fix. And then the next step for you is just overlaying. You said you have your KBD account, because we ask people, you can self-publish with so many different ways. We love Amazon. Number one, it's easy. It's a great marketplace to have the book out there for you and your readers. And it's also a great way to get the book printed anywhere in the world, because it allows you to do this anywhere in the world. So it's a really great way.
Because that's through print demand, on demand, correct?
Yep. And so what I love, I've been doing this now almost 12 years. And the quality, the way the books have improved now, even with Amazon, is amazing. They rival any other publisher these days. And for me, I love when you pick up your book, it tells exactly when it was printed where. And one of my new ones was printed in New Haven, Connecticut. So the book was done in New Haven or somewhere else. So now where you have your KBD account, the team is working on the layout and the format. You normally get an email back and it asks you for some basic information. How do you want your name to show up? Are you on the colors? Do you have anything in mind how you want to have the layout to look? What is the formatting going to look like? What size of book you want? All the good stuff which goes with it. But behind the scenes, we asking you to put together a launch team, somebody who becomes your cheerleader on getting this product out there. And the reason we start this right in the beginning, because 8 weeks comes really quick, and it allows your team to kind of just do some certain things and put the book out there in the marketplace, maybe help you edit it, help you add pictures, and all of the other good stuff. So that's for you. What's next?
Yeah, and then you talked about setting up an author's page.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does that happen after the?
So that will happen on week 2. Author's pages for you, just this, it should be mimic somewhat what you want to have the rest what in the back of your book on it. We take some pictures, we make you look 20 years younger, so because looks sells now. We need a picture from you, have the stuff out there, and then also how can your future reader get a hold of you? And if you have a private Facebook page or website for the book itself, that would happen simultaneously.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a book in 8 weeks. Exciting.
And people saying, why 8 weeks? I was like, we just put a number in place. We first did 100 days. Sounds so long. We said then 12 weeks. Ooh, sounds long too. And then we were like, how about we do it in 8 weeks? Ooh, it sounds much better. We can do that. And any book has really, I said there's 6 to 8 segments within it, depending on what you do. If you do a recipe book or a non-recipe book, and if you get one thing done a week, you get done with 8 weeks. So you're not bound by that. That is an arbitrary number we put in place. It's your own number. If it takes 8 weeks and 3 days and you still get it out there, you're still a winner. If it takes you 9 weeks, it doesn't matter. The book is still out there. But what we do from a training support is we did 8 weeks because it works perfectly with the cycle within a year that now where you're part of our family, we teaching live classes. And so if the 8 weeks and you know exactly where you're stuck, you could say, I need help on week 3. I need help on week 4. And then when you get the calendar, you say, oh, I need to log in 2 weeks because that's where they do that again. And I provide some additional support. So that's why we broke it down in 8 weeks.
That's great. And what else was I going to ask you? And you have helped authors then put out a Kindle book version, an audio version, journal.
So there's 3 things which go with it. Number 1, we tell everybody you need a Kindle version. It's just a great way to get the book out there electronically. And that could be the full book. That could be just certain sections, whatever you choose to do. And also from there, we break down your book into segments. And the segments is, so for an example, you could do a raffle and say, if anybody comes to a workshop, I give you chapter 1, 2, and 3 for free. And then you just send them the 3 chapters, not the whole book. Also, that allows you to lock your book so nobody can forward it, nobody can edit it, nobody can print it, all the good stuff. So that's what you choose to do. And then finally, it's also the format if you want to have a hardcover of your book done, that's done by somebody else. Amazon doesn't do that currently. And then also, it's easy for that to take your book and we then translate it into 14 different languages when we upload it. So we have a team, they from all over the world, and each of them take a copy and they break it out for you. So you can have your book as up to, we're doing currently 14 languages. You can have more, but for us, we're teaching everybody to get the book out there as many different languages as possible, so people have access to your book.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
And and the great thing is, my team and I, we spoke earlier today. How can we get a broader reach? And if anybody's listening and you're interested in writing your own book, on the first week in August, we starting up our book course. It happens to be a Thursday. So August 1st is Thursday, where we relaunch the book. So the next group, the next cohort starts on August 1st. And what we do a few days ahead of time, because I believe that people need to be fully informed. So we do 2 1/2 day workshops where we actually bring you from start to finish in 4 hours. And if you feel like you need some additional support, we offer some additional support to get your book out there in the marketplace. And that all starts August 1st. And so what we found, most people which partner with us are people like you. They knew they wanted to put a book out there. They have a manuscript about 90% done. They have that manuscript on the shelf for 7 to 9 years. They started on their own. They couldn't get it done. They partnered with somebody. It didn't work. They went to a course. It just didn't. They never felt good enough that the book which hits the marketplace represents them. And this is our clientele.
Yeah, that's great. So that's is that an 8-week thing then that starts in August?
So the one which starts in 8 weeks starts week 1. So it's 8 weeks. So and there's 3 versions what we offer. Version number 1 is you could just log in and do DIY. And it gives you full access. We have 14 videos in there, which tells you exactly how to do it. It shows you could get a book done. Then if people need a little bit more support, we call it Done With You, where you get access to all of the workshops. You get all of the tools what we have, all of our templates. We have simple to follow templates to get it done. And in addition to that, you get 8 hours of me and my team. And so sometimes there's just me, sometimes it's our marketing person, sometimes it's one of our editors, and they teach the class. And there's basically an 8 events, 1 hour class where they show you how to get the book from zero to the shelf. And then we know there's people which need even more support. So also what we offer is you give us all of your manuscript, you give us all of your stuff, and then we agree on a day. We start and you get the book back finished with a website on week 8. And that's how we support the marketplace with what we have learned over the last few years.
Yeah, and I'm not the do-it-yourselfer for that. That's for sure.
And you know what? It's not just a time thing. Some people just feel, you know what? This guy's doing it all the time. They probably find some stuff I don't see, even if I want to do it on my own. They could probably level it up. And so there's still conversations, there's weekly conversations. There's just one, we call it a big intake meeting where we have all these questions. It usually takes about an hour and a half where we're saying, hey, what is your font size? What do you think your cover should look like? Hey, what size do you think? Hey, have you thought about doing this? And then we have the rest is usually via email and text. It's really simple. Some are halfway. We set up another short check-in call. Hey, this is what we have done. You usually halfway for us is that the book is done. And we can get it to you. And then you could say, no, hey, can I change this? Can I make a few minor changes? And then because now when you upload the book, it takes a little bit longer with Kindle. So we like to have it done by week 6. And then it gives you 2 weeks to get the book out there in the marketplace. You could do some pre-orders if you choose to do so, or have some other promotion to run around there.
Yeah. Yeah, what I like about that is, so for me, using skill sets that I have in other areas as an example. Yep. Could I change my oil in my car? Absolutely. But do I want to get a jack up my car, get underneath it, unscrew the bolt, let the oil out, put it back in, fill the oil, change the air filter, all these things that'll take me twice as long as a professional. And then I got to figure out where I'm going to go dump the oil. Someone might be able to figure this out on their own, but to be able to get it done twice as fast by someone who does this regularly, I think is a big advantage. And that's what I like about doing this work together.
Yeah. So what we learned, the reason we have 3 levels was there's a few people which do really well by watching somebody. So we have the video version. There's some people which feel, you know what, I want to just be there, watch them do it, talk about it, because I learn by viewing others. And then also it allows them to ask questions. Hey, I want to do this. And then, when we set that out, it's an hour and a half call. It allows them to do questions. And then there's people like you which say, you know what, you're the expert. Doing this buys myself time back. because if you look at it this way, we're asking you to invest about an hour and a half, 6 days a week, in order to get your book done with 8 weeks. So, which is about 10 hours a week. So that's another 80 hours, in 8 weeks to get this book done. So people say, yeah, I just pay somebody to do it all and get it done. And then we overlay a few things we learned. And that is, if or when your book is done, um, it's like the movie. People think, oh, I wrote my book. Now, I build it. People will come.
Yeah.
Typically they don't.
No,
So
you got
it
to start
needs
marketing.
it needs a little marketing around it. So when you sign up with our program, with a high level program, we give you back a full integrated website, which has a marketing campaign behind it. People will be able to check out and buy the book right there on your site. And it also gives you data back, which allows you to collect your new following and allow people to connect with you and get to know you a little bit more via email or text, whatever you choose to do. And then also when it's done, that's why people buy finished Amazon stores. They want to just walk in and be able to sell it and promote it, put it out in the marketplace. They don't want to worry about editing. They don't want to worry about font. They don't worry about publishing or a marketing team or a launch team. They just want to get it all done. And that's what we do, because it helps you buy your time back.
Yeah. Yeah, because my time is more valuable as a coach to a client than it is to saving money on do it myself kind of a thing.
Yeah. And so what we found, we have the 3 level: DIY, done with you and done for you. Very few people come in the DIY. They just want to have it done with you. It seems to be our biggest or best-selling format. And then also what we do, because we allow people to change their mind. Things do happen, and somebody says, hey, I'm on week 2. I feel like I'm already behind. You know what? Might as well. I want to do the bigger program. So whatever you paid for program 1, we actually give you credit for the other program. So you can switch around if you choose to do so during the program. But you could still sit down and log in for the live calls. And and that's what we do. So people asking us all the time, Christian, why do you even offer the live calls? And for me, it's for 2 reasons. Number 1, I put a challenge out there to the group and say, hey, what should I write about? And I write a book with them. I think it just helps them to see that, you know what, they gave me a subject for the book, and then we agree 100 pages, 120 pages, 150 pages. And then I report out like they do. This is what I got done this week. This is what I'm behind. And I do it myself. I don't let my team do it. I do this on my assignment. I'm a fairly busy guy. So if I can do it and do it with you, anybody else should be really assured that they can do it on their own. And the second reason for us why we do this is really simple. Every time we do it, and I did it now 34 times, I learned something new. I was like, why am I doing this way? I should have just done it like this. And then, the team, we change all the materials, we re-record the videos, because every time we go through the program, know that the information we present to you is no older than 3 months, because we just wrote a book 3 months ago, and we just updated the things we learned. And we've been doing this, is now the 14th time we're doing this. We have it buttoned down pretty good, but there's some really cool new stuff which is coming down the pike from Amazon, what they're doing. And we're part of a special group within Amazon, which allows us to look a little bit behind the curtain, what's coming on the publishing side. It's going to change everything. And I think it's going to change it so much that it will totally change the way books are being consumed. And if you follow a little bit Gary Vee, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. Gary Vee the other day said, hey, this is the first time in his career that he feels like he has been commoditized, that the way people look at social media, it's not more social media, is local media, because now people go into a niche. And he says it's all changing. And the first place it reflects is in the book side. I have a friend of mine who has a publishing company, and his publishing company does lifestyle magazines. And him and I, we meet regularly. We're just sharing some insights and some data. He came to me today. He says, Christian, we need to meet on Friday, because I think the way people consume my lifestyle magazines is changing. What's going on the book side, And so it's interesting how how this changes. So if anybody wants to do a book, there's no better time to do a book than now. First of all, I think it's the cheapest it ever has been, writing a book and putting stuff out there. And the stuff within all the organizations and all the partners we have has become so good that you could put out a really high quality product very inexpensively.
Yeah. What for people that are interested in this program, what's the best way to find out more and sign up?
So the easiest thing is you go to hospitality, premierhospitalitypublishing.com. You could sign up there and save your seat for the upcoming event. You could just respond to this video below and follow us on our channels and just DM us and say, hey, I want to get my name on the list and be part of the event. And also, even if you don't want to do your book now, I encourage you to go to the event for 2 reasons. Number one, it gives you a really good idea of what it takes to get it done, and allows you to say, you know what, I know exactly how I can compartmentalize my time, and I can find some time in the fall. And what we find, participation in our course, and it is bigger. People are coming from the Northeast because I think it's cold. People are snowed in. They have more time to ride, and less so in the summer. So the reason we do August is for us that we want to hit like all the seasons. So that's really our day. And we have a few international people. We had some people from Singapore who just wrote a book with us. We helped somebody in Sweden. We helped somebody in the UK. So we found we just wanted to be just chefs and really small. Now it's kind of evolving, and it's interesting to see that people come to us and say, hey, I'm not a chef, but can I still be part of the program? And absolutely. It doesn't change if you write a cookbook or if you write about shoes, or it doesn't change if you write about ice cream versus something else. And then also the way consumers currently consume books, the days of the 300 book textbooks are gone. People want 100 pages or less. 84 seems to be the hot number currently. If you're around 84 seems to be really what people connect to, because they want to learn about you and your process on a weekend. And that's what we're learning. And so the reason we participate is so we learn. We are students first. And yeah, that's why we do what we do. We want to learn with our students. We want to see how is our process, our format, our system, how is it working? And then also sometimes it makes me just go back and say, you know what, I gave them too much stuff. It's overwhelming. Maybe we pull this out of week 1 and put it into week 2, or vice versa. And yeah, this is week number 14. I think we have a pretty close button down of what we want to do. And we're excited to be able to offer this into the marketplace, because we only do it 4 times a year. And it's not something we ask people to come in all the time. So we do the cohorts, and the next one is starting August 1st.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited. And if you were thinking about writing a book, definitely reach out either in this message here or go to the website. But I really appreciate all the help I'm getting from you and
Yeah.
the team, and I'm excited to see the finished project. I know that we spent a little time taking my design cover and just tweaking it a little bit, and it looks so much better already. So
Did you get? Yeah. What was the feedback? I know you shared it with your followers. How was the feedback?
Loved it. Yeah.
And there's a few other things we've been toying around, and people ask us all the time, what's next? So we found a way of how to take a book and make it an app. But what we really want to do with the book is don't let the book just be the book. And we teaching this all the time. Have the book become a tool of what you want to get done. And we just had somebody sign up 2 days ago, which is going to come to the August 1st, and he owns a nonprofit. And I think if you have a nonprofit or a great message, a book is a fantastic idea to enroll people in what you do. We have somebody who has a medical condition, and he's climbing all the highest mountains in the world. His doctor, he should not do it. He wants to document his journey, and that book is a great way to do that.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited of where this journey, after so many years, like I said, we started out with just cookbooks, and now it kind of evolved into a little bit more than that. We call ourselves Premier Hospitality Publishing for a reason, because we want to give back to the hospitality industry. And as you and I spoke, if you have a coaching business, if you have a great process, if you have what's known as a knowledge business, you need to have a book to support what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for time today, and excited about what's next. Maybe next week we'll talk about where we're at in the process.
Yeah. So the two things what's going to change for you next week, we have a little surprise, which is going to come for you the end of the month. Where we want to try something new with you in your book. I think you're going to be excited about it. And then also there is some new tools out there where you could take the content of your book and build a speaking business around it. We found a new tool which will take your book and put it into PowerPoint slides. We found a tool where your book could become a movie. It could become a kid's story, and a few other cool things which is out there. So I think there's a few different ways to take your book beyond just what it is today, to have or make it easier for your perfect client to consume your content.
That's great. I'm looking forward to hearing all about that.
Yeah, awesome. Great. So anybody else, as Monte said, if you are interested in writing a book, reach out to Monte or myself. Also, he is not just a client, so he's actually going through the process himself. And I could have done it with him, by the way. I assigned one of my teammates to it. She's amazing. So you gotta get exactly the feeling or the feel what it feels like for any of our clients to go through the process. We try to communicate once a week. We try to follow up once a week, so we don't bomb you with it on the emails and questions. But I gotten a little glimpse of where she's taking your book. I think you will like it. And I'm really excited to go through the process with you.
Yeah. Me too.
Awesome. So again, thanks for everybody listening in for the Disruptive Chef Club. This is our private series where we just dump more knowledge on people in the hospitality industry. And if anybody has ever considered writing a book or feels like they need to have written word out there, please follow us. We're going to show you the step-by-step and behind the scene what it takes to get it on the shelf. With that, I want to thanks for logging in. And Mr. Monte, thanks for doing this for us. We here every Monday, 3-ish. Today we got into chatting, so we're a little bit late. But we appreciate you guys listening in. Please leave us a comment. We read every single one of them. If you don't like something we said, Monte is more than happy to respond back to you. And if you feel like you got something really good information out there, I take the good stuff. He takes the other stuff. But we appreciate you guys listening in, and we talk to you guys in a few days. Thanks, everybody.